Xin Jifei, a prominent social media influencer in China for exposing counterfeit food, shed light on the production process of prepared meals. Today, let's take the diced spicy chicken as a dish to demonstrate pre-packaged meal preparation. The first step is to make the special sauce for the spicy chicken. This sauce is the heart of the dish, the magic element that makes you go, wow, this is so delicious. The secret lies right here. The recipe is based on the standard for this pre-packaged meal. We have 38 grams of chicken essence mixed with 38 grams of SMG, 16 grams of white sugar, 18 grams of edible salt, and 1 gram of disodium 5-ribonucleotide, which is even more powerful than the combined effect of chicken essence and MSG we added earlier. Add 2 grams of white pepper, 2 grams of lansum gum, and 2 grams of meat flavor maltol. This stuff adds that meaty aroma. Then incorporate 700 grams of water, 90 grams of salad oil, 60 grams of light soy sauce, and 10 grams of dark soy sauce. Pour in all the powdery ingredients we just prepared and simmer it on low heat. As soon as it boils, turn off the heat. Then add in chicken essence, yeast extract, some red chili powder for coloring, and 1 gram of red peppercorn resin to give it that numbing flavor. This is where the aromatic flavor comes from. Just a sprinkle of cooked green peppercorn essence, about 0.3 grams, will do. Now comes the main act. Add 18 grams of hydroxypropyl distarch phosphate, a thickening agent. So the sauce isn't simmered to a thick consistency, but rather this scientific powder thickens it instantly. Now get 500 grams of fresh chicken, add 2 grams of salt, 1.5 grams of moisture-retaining agent, 3.5 grams of dark soy sauce for coloring, and 10 grams of cooking oil. Mix it well and marinate for about 20 minutes, then cook in boiling water for a couple of minutes. Place the cooked diced chicken into a packaging bag and pour in the sauce we just prepared. Add a few pieces of chili to make it look more like diced spicy chicken. Seal the bag and freeze it, and your pre-packaged dish is ready. Whenever you want to eat it, just boil it in water for about 10 minutes, and a flavorful dish is ready to be served. But even with fresh ingredients, can you handle the high salt and oil content if consumed regularly?
Okay, let's break this down. Hydroxypropyl distarch phosphate, it's a thickener, disodium erythorbate. That's a preservative, there's a mix of phosphates, and one of them, sodium triphosphate, helps retain moisture and adjust acidity in those pre-packaged foods. Metal chelating agents. Yep, you heard it right. And its job is to bleach. Sodium pyrophosphate in the pre-made meals helps to keep things moist, acts as a leavening agent, and adjusts the acidity. Sodium hexametaphosphate, it prevents the meat fats in the pre-made dishes from oxidizing. But here's the thing, the food-grade version of it does contain trace amounts of heavy metals and lead. Over time, if you eat too much of it, you might experience symptoms like skin pigmentation changes or even cancer. As for sodium phosphate, it's anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic, and anti-rheumatic. But it's prescription only for a reason. Overexposure can harm us, leading to nervous system reactions and digestive issues. Oh, and by the way, this pre-made dish, made on May 5th, 2023, it took 4 months to make its way to our kids' plates. Parents, do you get the picture? Eating these pre-made meals with all these additives and then pairing them with prescription meds to combat inflammation and allergies. Doesn't sound too good, does it?
Recently, a person claiming to have been in the prepared meal business for 7 to 8 years shared their views on the entry of prepared meals into school campuses in a video posted online. Pre-packaged meals have finally entered schools, surprising even us, the pre-packaged meal vendors. I've been in this business for about 7 or 8 years. All the online vendors have remained silent, watching the developments closely. Speaking for myself, I want to clarify my stance. I am firmly against promoting pre-packaged meals in schools. It's simply harming our next generation. Based on my understanding of pre-packaged meals, they are not suitable for long-term consumption by any group of people. Initially, these meals were not designed for children, but targeted at hotels and rural banquets. The main objectives were threefold: saving on labor costs, standardizing dishes to minimize human error, and centralized procurement of ingredients to reduce production costs, thereby offering a cheaper price. However, this approach has many inherent problems. To extend the shelf life, even cold chain products contain preservatives, as it's permitted by the state. Adding preservatives act like an insurance for the product. To enhance the color, flavor, and texture, various dyes, essences, and flavor enhancers, as well as moisture-retaining agents, are added. There's nothing we can't do, only what you can't imagine. Moreover, to speed up the preserving process, most prepackaged meals are pre-cooked, requiring only a simple steam or reheat before serving. Pre-cooked food loses a lot of its texture, color, and nutrients, which is inevitable. However, the exact repercussions of consuming prepackaged meals on the human body are still unknown, as there is no authoritative data available yet. Some experts claim that leftover food can cause cancer, and personally, I believe prepackaged meals are even more potent. It seems like a gradual process from quantitative change to qualitative change. At least, my family and I, especially the children, will not consume prepackaged meals. I also believe that many prepackaged meal owners would not regularly consume their own products. These meals are not a cure-all. They should only be used sparingly when needed. This adds to the testimony of another netizen who previously worked at a prepared meal company and leaked information online.
I once worked at a listed company specializing in prepackaged meals, so I have substantial authority on this subject. The reason we advise against consuming prepackaged meals is that absolute safety cannot be guaranteed on many aspects. First, the meat used as an ingredient is possibly not fresh. Have you ever wondered why the takeaway meat lacks the meaty aroma and only has a salty taste? It is because the meat is not fresh. With current technology, no matter the level of spoilage, there's always a way to conceal it. If it holds its shape, it's used as is. If not, it is used as filling, meaning nothing goes to waste. Secondly, prepackaged meals are frozen at a low temperature when they leave the factory. However, during various stages of transportation, if the temperature exceeds the set low temperature, bacteria can proliferate at any moment, and it's not visible to the naked eye. Thirdly, prepackaged meals contain various additives and preservatives. How else could they last a year without spoiling?
In recent times, a fervent push by the Chinese Communist Party to promote the introduction of prepared meals, also known as meal kits, in schools has sparked widespread discontent among parents. This dissatisfaction has ignited a wave of opposition both online and offline. The issue has not only soared to the top of China's Weibo hot search charts, but has also seen many parents physically taking meals to schools as a form of protest. Numerous videos circulating online showcase crowded scenes outside many primary and secondary schools across China, with parents eager to deliver meals to their children. In these visuals, it's evident that one school has kept its main gate closed during lunchtime, leaving parents with no option but to hand over meals over the fence. Subsequently, students can be seen congregating at the school entrance, hastily consuming their lunches, either standing or sitting down. In one instance, a mother fortunate enough to take her 2 children out for lunch was denied re-entry by the school security, citing failure to purchase school-provided meals as the reason for not allowing them back into the classrooms. At another secondary school, students are still permitted to leave the premises for lunch. It has been reported that some parents have even resigned from their jobs to ensure the daily delivery of meals to their children. So, what is in these prepared meals that frightens parents so much? Prepared food, also known as meal kits, comprise edible ingredients mixed with various additives, including food additives, which are pre-processed into semi-finished or finished products. Noted for their long shelf life and convenience, these meal kits have been popular in China for several years, predominantly utilized in restaurants, fast food joints, and for preparing takeouts. Recently, education bureaus across various regions in China have been encouraging companies to supply these meal kits in schools. However, this has given rise to numerous problems. Reports emerging from Rongjiang District in Jiangxi's Ganzhou highlight parents complaining about the slow delivery, poor quality, and unsatisfactory taste of these mass-distributed lunches. Moreover, several accounts point to children finding the quality of the prepared meals so inferior that they are unable to consume them, with some even suffering from diarrhea post-consumption. Parents in regions such as Zhejiang and Guangdong have also started voicing their grievances to local governments, urging them to halt the Prepared Meals into Schools initiative. Various online clips and images reveal the lamentable state of meals prepared with these kits. Discolored vegetables indicating a lack of freshness and inferior meat products like meatballs and sausages, often made from low-quality scraps. A considerable amount of food is left uneaten, with some children only consuming the rice portion and leaving the vegetables untouched. Adding to the distress, an incident on September 14th saw 16 students from a school in Henan's Taikang experiencing discomfort after mealtime, requiring emergency medical attention. The Education Bureau's statement steered clear of attributing the issue to the consumption of the prepared meals, instead vaguely categorizing the episode as food-related discomfort, a terminology which netizens have criticized as an attempt to whitewash what appears to be a clear case of food poisoning. Concerns have intensified with allegations of schools even distributing expired prepared meals. On September 8th, a netizen in Wuxi highlighted an incident where many children were served expired beef strips. He urged for better protection for the children. Visuals indicated that the product was a production date of November 19, 2021, and a shelf life of 12 months, had been expired for 10 months. Thus, not only is prepared meals perceived as unhealthy, but the quality assurance of these meal kits being supplied to schools seems precarious due to corruption and abuse of power, forming one of the primary reasons behind the parents' strong opposition. Let us hear more on this from one of the concerned parents.
It's downright absurd that pre-made meals are making their way into schools. This reckless pursuit of profit, going to the extent of doing something that could have lasting negative impacts, makes me question one's humanity. Let's talk about these pre-made meals for a moment. Take an example. What would you prefer to eat today? A freshly picked peach or a peach that has been stored for a few days, weeks, or even a year? Obviously, a freshly picked one would be healthier and tastier. The same logic applies here. Regardless of whether these pre-made meals are categorized as fresh, frozen, clean, or whether they have nutritional value or not, they must contain some kind of preservatives to last that long, right? Naturally, dishes without additives would be better than those with, wouldn't they? While these meals are edible, they should only be eaten as an occasional convenience for adults too busy to cook, not a staple in the diet. You have the choice, but it's different for the students. They have no choice. They are the future of our country. How can we expect a bright future with the current state of things?
Recently, even individual social media influencers have joined in to criticize the situation.
Earning over $400 billion in a year isn't enough. Now they want to infiltrate schools. Lately, many parents are becoming restless, with some even quitting their jobs to provide meals for their children. It seems pre-made meals are invading elementary schools, middle schools, and even kindergartens to ease management and cut costs. Some schools are resorting to centralized kitchens or outsourcing to catering companies for bulk meal supply. Given the massive demand, these companies, aiming to enhance efficiency and save costs, opt for pre-made meal packs. These meal packs, in pursuit of taste, often contain high levels of salt, sugar, and fat. To extend their shelf life, they might also contain preservatives. Is it reasonable to let our growing children consume these daily? Doctors have mentioned that pre-made meals are generally not as safe and nutrient-rich as fresh vegetables, and they don't recommend consuming them long-term. Despite the reluctance from many parents, the encroachment of pre-made meals on schools is not halting, fueled by a burgeoning market. Last year, the nationwide market scale reached 420 billion yuan, with 80% purchased by catering businesses. Many chain restaurants use pre-made meals for over 80% of their dishes, essentially becoming conveyor belts of meal packs. In the takeout industry, the trend of pre-made meals is skyrocketing, with popular dishes like plum-preserved meat and fish-flavored pork shreds often being made from meal packs. It's projected that by 2026, the national national pre-made meals market will exceed 1 trillion yuan, doubling last year's figure. Moving forward, more and more dining tables will be dominated by these meals. Currently, there are about 70,000 pre-made meal enterprises nationwide, with encouragement for this industry growing across the country.
To put things into perspective, student canteens in China have always been the subject of criticism. Our previous reports highlight bizarre incidents such as the mouse head duck neck episode, where a student found a mouse head in their food purchased from the university canteen, which officials claimed was a duck neck. There have been multiple reports in the past concerning canteens using spoiled meat and rotten vegetables as ingredients, with some even resorting to using stale frozen meat and expired dairy products, items that couldn't be sold in markets, eventually reaching the students through this channel. Currently, local education bureaus purportedly responding to a central call are instructing primary and secondary schools to shut down their canteens, mandating all meals to be ordered from a government-contracted prepared meal company's centralized canteen. However, netizens have exposed that if one were to investigate closely, it's quite likely to find that the winning bidder for supplying these meals might be a relative or someone connected to a city official. Leveraging privileges and favorable policies, these companies are acquiring land from the government for free. Furthermore, they operate in facilities that fail to meet hygiene standards, offering meals that are both expensive and unpalatable. Despite this, they have been given the green light by the city government. One might assume that parents are opposing the standardized prepared meals with fried chicken, braised pork, meatballs, and sausages. But in reality, parents are more aware of the policies and the government's intentions. The switch from canteens to prepared meals only changes the beneficiaries from the school principal's relatives to a government official's family, a mere transition of individuals reaping the benefits. Hence, parents have a simple demand. Their children can consume the locally boxed prepared meals as long as it is the same as what the governmental officials are having. This demand arguably is not unreasonable. The vigorous promotion of prepared meals stems from an article published on July 11th by the official state media People's Daily, stating that this year's #1 central document, the first policy statement released by central authorities each year, required the enhancement of hygiene and standardization levels of clean vegetables in central kitchens, and fostering the development of the prepared meals industry. This marks the first time prepared meals were mentioned in a #1 central document. The report notes that on September 16th, the Agriculture and Rural Program Center of China Central Radio and Television broadcasted that the second round of the National Prepared Meals Competition took place in Huainan, Anhui Province on the 15th, with nearly 90 prepared meal companies from over 10 provinces and cities participating. During the 15th Shanghai International Catering Ingredients Exhibition on August 28th, authorities organized the Prepared Meals Industry Future Summit. Furthermore, on March 28th, the Guangdong provincial government held a standardized pilot selection competition for the entire prepared meal industry chain in Foshan. According to the People's Daily Overseas Edition, as of the end of 2022, there were 64,000 existing prepared meal-related companies in China, with an increasing number of registrations annually over the last decade, including an addition of 12,600 enterprises in 2020. Given the vehement promotion of prepared meals by the CCP, the question arises, are prepared meals genuinely safe? On September 14, 2022, in a live broadcast room in Oriental Selection, Wang Zhigang, a strategic consulting expert known as the godfather of real estate planning and founder of the Zhigang think tank, stated during a chat with Yu Minghong and Dong Yuhui from the famous New Oriental Education and Technology Group that prepared meals are swill, I never eat them. This derogatory comment not only pushed prepared meals up to the hot searches at that time, but also resurfaced as a trending topic today, with expert says prepared meals are swill being widely discussed. On September 17th, a staff member from the Zhigang think tank responded to journalists, stating that the aforementioned remarks were candid personal comments, not targeting any specific industry or entity. For many, the logical thinking that prepared meals equal leftovers, equal food packages, equal additives, equal chemicals, equal harmful to health has become a prevalent belief. However, it's essential to note that prepared meals are not a new concept. In the 90s, with the entry of fast food chains like McDonald's and KFC into China, clean vegetable distribution and processing factories emerged domestically. Around the year 2000, semi-finished meal production enterprises gradually appeared in China. Around 2014, with the rapid development of the food delivery industry, the prepared meal sector entered a period of expansion into the business market. Especially since 2020 and during the pandemic, prepared meals have been favored by consumers due to their clean packaging and quick serving times, fostering explosive growth in the general consumer market. Recent data illustrates a progressive growth in China's ready-to-eat meal market over the past few years. In 2021, the market scale reached 346 billion yuan, escalating to 420 billion in 2022. By 2026, projections estimate that it can potentially surge to a staggering 1.07 trillion yuan. As it stands, the B2B and B2C segments of China's prepared meal market maintain a ratio of approximately 8 to 2, implying that nearly 80% of the ready-made meals are channeled to consumers through dine-in and takeaway outlets, leaving the B2C segment somewhat underrepresented. For a comparative analysis, in several mature markets around the world, the ratio between the B2B and B2C sectors stands at around 6 to 4. Despite the surge in the ready-made meal industry in China, it cannot be overlooked that the sector is fraught with numerous issues, making it inadvisable for long-term consumption. As previously mentioned, concerns regarding the quality of ingredients, the usage of additives, and high levels of oil and salt, which could potentially lead to obesity, are prevalent. Most critically, a lack of stringent regulation has resulted in many ready-made meals being processed in small workshops, which often fail to meet hygiene standards, leading to frequent product quality issues. In a recent study titled 2022 Prepared Meal Industry Quality Upgrade Special Report, released by iMedia Research, it was revealed that over half of the consumers of prepared meals have encountered issues pertaining to product quality.